Hello there, my name is Bruce Rain from Brankus Creations and welcome to this live stream. Thank you all very much for joining me. I see 4 likes already. Thank you for those. I do appreciate it. Quick little shout out and hello to folks. Okay, that's Jay from House of Moth, who's probably just came in, wrote that chat and then disappeared. I bet he's gone now, I bet he's not even in the chat. You can say whatever you want about him right now. Craig Lilly, hello. Nate Tronerud is here. Retro Techie, Mike Smack Shack. Who else? Oh my goodness, this computer under here is getting quite warm. Okay, let's keep going. Apples Anonymous, Corey Graybill, DJ Craze. Joe Williams is here. Eric is here. Hello, Eric. ALX Lab? Alx Lab? Iv is here. Jay is here. See, that's how you get him to jump in. Eric Smith, Zombie Geek 33. If I missed anyone in there, I do apologise. I kind of skimmed over that a bit quickly, so I may well have missed some folks, and so I apologise. I just quickly my apologies to some of my YouTubing buddies who are live streaming at the moment, and I didn't actually realise they were live streaming at the moment until I was just setting this up, and I went, uh-oh, I'm streaming at the same time as them. I'm not going to tell you who they are in case you go off and watch them instead. So, but anyhow, my apologies to them. I'll mention their names afterwards. Jared Burma, hello. Alex Lab, there we go. Okay, got it. Just a quick little recap to anyone who watched my last live stream. Can this Macintosh 2CX be saved? The answer is yes, it can. The Macintosh 2CX is over there somewhere, and it works. So I recapped it in the live stream, and then it spent a decent amount of time in the old ultrasonic cleaner here. With a couple of Steve Ballmer pics here. And after that, did a little bit of tidying, found a trace, another broken trace. Fired it up yesterday, loaded an OS on it, had a little bit of quick little play, and then shut it down. So it's got a few consistency issues. There might be a crack somewhere because sometimes it just decides not to start up. But when it does start up, it works quite well. So yeah, very pleased about that one. That was good. A nice little part of yesterday. Another thing I did yesterday was worked on it. Get out of there, pigeon. Was worked on a 2SI that I think I may have live streamed me recapping it a good while ago, and I'm having nothing but grief with that thing. So that one left me on a right downer yesterday. So he's over there. I'll have to have a look at him at another time. So lots and lots of rotten traces on it. Lots of kind of nasty trace rot, but they couldn't find any brakes on the darn thing. So that was not good. But anyhow, today is a new day. I've had these Macs with me for quite some time. Someone sent them to me last year, so 2021, I think around October, I think. And they sent me the whole thing. And of course, I don't get that very often. Most of the time, people just send me the boards. But this guy actually sent me 2 whole Macs. So a Mac Classic and a Mac Classic 2, which I totally respect that he's not confident about opening them up and ripping out the boards and all that sort of stuff. So that's all that's all quite understandable. And they are both problematic. The Classic 2 is on a kind of a boot cycle, and this Classic 1 has got the wobbly screen and the checkerboard. Now, anyone who has worked with Classics or Classic 2s, they need to understand that, anyone who has them and hasn't worked on them, is they need recapping, both the logic board and the analog board. So these are a double whammy, these ones. You are very unlikely to find a Classic or Classic 2, even if it's working still, that doesn't need its capacitors replaced. Another thing these guys suffer from a lot is battery bombing, and of course that's what we may find in here. But of course, if that does happen and the board is dead, I wonder where you would go to find someone with a few spare Classic boards lying around. I don't know. So anyhow, we'll see what treasures are inside this. We'll open this up in just a little minute. In the meantime, I'll just have a quick little look at the chat here. Typically, the checkerboard screen often happens when the logic board is not getting enough power. So yes, the video has started, And yes, YouTube is messed up for you. So fix it, fix it, fix it. Let me just have a quick look here. Yeah, I do appear to be streaming out and everything like that. It's telling me I have 21 concurrent viewers. I don't know if that's true or not. Could be. Could be lies. So let me just jump back here to my old little software where I can actually see things. I better do that, and then I'll do that. Okay, there we go. I refreshed. I'm watching from 4 minutes ago at 1.5 speed. Well, I'm not. I can't control that. I'm afraid it's not something that I have any sort of control over. As far as I can see, everything is coming out of here peachy. It doesn't seem to be. I mean, I'm not even cranking up the CPU. Playing at 2 spots, fixed it already. Right. So back. Okay. So anyhow, yeah, I don't know. Should I just open it up? Should I? I mean, it seems to me that I'm getting into the actual meat of this live stream a little quick this time. I haven't spent ages and ages and ages prattling on about stuff. So yeah, a bit weird. But anyhow, so I'm going to go to the top view. It would be better if I had a different view for this. The top view is possibly not the best view, but I do have a slight issue at the moment that, well, I've got 1, 2, 3 cameras going into this at the moment, and I think if I hit it with a fourth, I do have a camera here, but I think if I hit it with a fourth, we might run into some strife. So crack that Mac with your bare hands. You bet I will. Okay, so Macintosh Classic, here we go. I do have a fondness for the Mac Classic because it was one of the first computers. I mean, it was the first Macintosh my family owned, so we were all familiar with Macs because I had a friend whose father worked at Apple, and so we knew Macs. And of course, both my parents were teachers, so they had Apples at school. So they weren't, you know, we're all very Mac aware. But we had an Apple IIe up until that point. We had a IIe with a hard drive, so that made it an extremely useful computer because, you know, you just load all your files and software on the hard drive, and when you used to switch it on, it just go bang, straight into ProDOS. So yeah, the old Apple IIe was a great little computer, but then we got a Mac, and we got the Mac Classic. And the main reason why we got a Classic is because it was the first Macintosh that made it into our budget. Now, you've got to remember, it's a very different time back then. This is 1991. In terms of what people would potentially be budgeting on a home computer was very different to these days. And these days, the importance of a computer is way more significant. And so people would place a greater importance on the amount of money they would potentially spend on a computer. But back then, the idea of forking out $1,000 or something for a computer in the house was pretty major. Anyhow, this is the Macintosh Classic, and it has 4 case screws. It has 3 case screws. I'm not sure why this is missing a case screw, but it is missing a case screw, which does suggest it's been opened before. Yep, definitely no case screw there. Let's see if I can get this little sucker out. This thing is magnetized, but not enough. Consign it. If I grab some more magnets here. Bugger. DJ Craze, who has just said, the age of these machines, it's always best to open them up and examine them, or they could be explosive. I would generally agree with that. I mean, for the most part, I would recommend in particular with certain computers. Someone the other day was just talking about a Quadra 950, and they were saying, oh, you know, should I risk switching it on? And my response to that was, you know what? Yeah, I reckon you probably can with the Quadra 950. You might have power supply troubles, but Quadra 950 usually pretty good even after all these years. Okay, so here are our 3 case screws that are meant to be 4. Very lucky that I have a few extra case screws. Someone sent me some in a little care package. How nice is that? Eh? A few extra case screws. And they are not new old stock, they are reproductions, which I think is just darn awesome. Okay, I'm going to pop these there for a moment. Right, so next thing we're going to do is open up this case, and I'm going to go to front view for that because I need to show people how I do it. Now, of course, if this does not work, if I try to open this and I fail at it, it's going to make me look like a complete wally. But I am no stranger to looking like a complete wally. Okay, so he is the beige Mac connoisseur indeed. Okay, so generally what I do when I'm opening up these cases is I get my 4 fingers there with the nails into the groove, like Madonna. And then I put my big chunky fat hand on this part here, and then I generally get up and I just go like that. And then the case comes off. Whee! All right. Let's see what we have. Oh, now I can tell you that this has got the RAM upgrade card in it, but it has no RAM in that RAM upgrade card. So we're sitting on a paltry 2 megabytes of RAM. So for folks who may not know these Macs very well, they came with 1 megabyte soldered onto the board, and then they had a little expansion slot that allowed you to put a little RAM upgrade card in there. And that RAM upgrade card had 1 megabyte soldered onto it as well. So you could take it from 1 to 2 with the card. But it also had 2 slots on it and allowed you to add another 2 megabytes to take it up to a whopping 4 megabytes of RAM. Now the truth is, by the time we got to 1991 in the world of the classic, people were starting to expect a little bit more than 4 megabytes of RAM. If we talk about the days of the Macintosh Plus, which was upgradable to 4 megabytes, back in those days, 4 megabytes was a big friggin' deal. But by this stage, the 68K CPU, 68000 CPU and 4 megabytes wasn't a lot. But again, this is a budget computer. So, Flintlock 1, hello, it's 2:12 in the morning in the UK. Well, thank you very much for being awake at this time. I do appreciate it. Alrighty, so I've taken the back off. Now let's change the view to the top view so that you might get a little bit of a better look here. And we'll have a look and see what we have. So I might discharge it first. Where's my discharge tool? We've got the first casualty of the live stream. I can't find my discharge tool. Here it is. I must have taken it up into the house, and then I brought it back and didn't put it where it's supposed to be. Okie dokie. Now, these shouldn't need discharging generally because they do have a bleeder resistor that actually just discharges the flyback. But always like to be safe rather than sorry. So we're going to have to remove the analog board here, and we're going to have to remove the logic board down here. We'll start with the logic board, and that comes out fairly easily. We first will take out the little Steve. Hello. Thank you for joining. So this is our little RAM upgrade card here, which there that way. There we go, and as you can see, there's 1 megabyte on board, and then we have the 2 RAM slots there, which are empty. So this is 2 megabyte. So let's take that out, and then we're going to undo the SCSI cable, the ribbon cable. Always being very careful around here. Don't want to bump this, because if you do that, you're likely to snap the little bit of glass nipple on the end there, which is holding all the air out, and then all the air will go rushing in. And then we've got our little power cable umbilical here, which I'm going to undo, and then out comes the board. And there are a couple of things that I noticed straight off the bat. It's had its battery replaced. So this is not an old battery. This is... I can't tell. But anyhow, it's not it is a new battery. And I think the cover is gone too. So anyhow, the little battery cover. So it's been recapped. The freaking thing's been recapped. Look, it's been recapped. Is it my work? It's possible. Have to look up the serial number. I mean, is this one that I've actually done before? So chances are the logic board are okay. Let's just go as far as saying that. No, I don't think it is my work. It's not bad, but I don't think it's my work. I would definitely not look at this and say it was a lousy recapping job or anything like that. Looks okay, but it has been recapped. So there we go. That's it. See ya. Bye, everyone. See you next time. But we, of course, still have a computer that's not working. So let's have a look at the analog board, shall we? So that's going to need to come off. So let's get the old anode cap off. Now, one of the things that's kind of annoying about this, about the Classic, is the fact that the whole analog board was made as a single thing with the little CRT controller, which is then snapped off. And what it means is there's no connector there for that. It all comes off in one piece, and it's a bit of a pain, because it means if you want to get the analog board out, you've got to take the little CRT controllery boardery thing out. Oh crap! Just get in there, will you? I really should have a look at the repair ticket thing here and see if he has said it has been recapped. Just a second. I'm just going to bring up my repair ticket. Just a moment. Takes all the fun out of it when people have done the work for you. Okay, repairs. And then look here, Classic. Let's have a look. Job status in progress. Right. Oh, okay. So he has. Yep. All right. I'm making a discussion because I'm not working on try. I have tried recapping and cleaning both boards on both machines to no success. There are some damage to solder pads too. Okay, cool. There is no damage from leaking batteries as far as I can see. Both machines have new batteries in them currently. The Classic one has a checkerboard screen and costs okay. All right. So he has recapped them himself, and he did tell me, so it's all right. But he said recapped both boards. So does that mean he's actually recapped the... Oh, it looks like he has recapped the analog board. Okay. So this is going to be one of my worst live streams ever. So just tell your friends. All right. Righty. Okay, so just going to lift that off gently. And going to unplug the hard drive, and then there's there's another screw down here. And then do the deflection-y thingy. Oh, and we've got a speaker. There we go. All right, so let's have a little inspectorooning of the old analog board, see if we can see anything obvious. I had someone, I'm not saying this person would do this, but I had someone recap an analog board and send it to me, and there was caps around backwards. Now, what I can tell you just from looking at this, I know this is done by an Australian, because these are the capacitors you buy from JCar Electronics, which is, you know, a local electronics reseller here. And yeah, so they are JCar caps. So, all right, let's have a look. See here. I'll check. I've got to check and make sure that everything has been done correctly. Did you discharge the flyback? Yes, I did. I did. See. So I've got this. I have this issue with this software that I use where I can't read the chat because the chat window is transparent or translucent, and there's no option to change how translucent it is. So if I have something light sitting behind it, I can't read the chat, and so I have to put something dark behind it so I can then read the chat. Okay, Enzo, thank you for joining. Your tardiness has been noted, and there we go. I'm gonna have a drink. But it stayed hydrated. It's fairly warm here at the moment. Ah, fresh. Lemony goodness. Okay, so got the air conditioner blowing straight on me at the moment, which is necessary. It is the screen that holds the charge, not the flyback. That is correct. And I did shove that screwdriver right in there. So that's why it's generally referred to as discharging the CRT as opposed to discharging the flyback. But I knew exactly what you meant when you said discharge the flyback. So Now, I need a second screen for the chat. Yes, I do. I'm actually, if I had space in here, I could do that, but that's the one thing I don't really have. I've got a big TV thingy up here. I suppose I could set that up as a secondary screen. Need a HDMI cable. I couldn't have considered it with the old computer that I had, but I could do it with this one potentially. Yeah, it's a thought. It's a thought. And of course I have a second computer here as well, but I don't have the space to put it. I've got computers coming out of my ears at the moment. I mean, not literally, that's figurative. All right. So, all right, the first thing I'm going to do, apart from saying all right over and over again, I'm going to recap a Mac. Has anyone heard of that website before? Recap a Mac. And then we're going to go to the classic analog board. I am looking at the 220 to 240 volt version. And then what we're going to be doing is, actually, I think I've got that printed, so why am I even looking at it on the computer? Geez, the pigeons are getting cheeky at the moment. Let's have a look, see. If I've got it printed, it will make my life a little bit easier. Classic analog, look at that. Look at it, look at it. Then I go to that, and then I go to that. All right. So, is it fixed yet? Hello, Dana, welcome to the live stream. Have you been doing stuff? Is that the website Mac84 claims this is? No, actually, I do have to thank Steve. He always gives my website a plug. It's very good. All right, so let's just have a look here and see if we've got everything where it should be. That's the first thing we need to do, because as I've always said, if you recap something and it doesn't work, what's the very first thing you do? Boop, 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 boop. Okay, that's fine. First thing I'm doing is checking the polarity is correct on all of these, and then I'll check that the actual capacitance is correct. So that's a yes, yes, and that's a yes, yes, yes. What? Yes, yes. Do 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 do. Please hanging up a little bit high, but never mind. What's that one? Yep. Boop boop boop. Boop boop boop. Boop boop. So the person who recapped this put the little caps very high. Nothing wrong with that, really, but you know. And okay, so all the polarities look okay on these, so I'm not gonna. I think we should be fine with that. Check Bruce's work. All right, okay, so Justin, hello, thank you for joining. I need some more lemony freshness. Not even thirsty, I just like the lemony freshness. Right. Right, okay, the next thing I'm going to do is check that the capacitance is correct on all these, and that's going to suck because my eyes are not the best and I can't read the little things. 470 microfarad, 25 volt. Yes. Come on. 220. 1000. 1000, 220. What? 2200, that's more like it. Crap. Yep. Boop, boop. 2216. You know, one of the really bad things about this is that essentially when I get one like this, one of the things I do need to do is often I need to recap them, which is a shame. It seems terribly wasteful, but if I can't find something really obvious, I often have to go and take the old work out and then have a look at it. Now, yeah, anyhow. So the other thing I want to do now is look on this side, because often when with these classics, when they leak, like I don't suppose you had a chance to look at my FB Messenger question regarding battery holders on Macintosh 2 board. I did, and I didn't reply to it, and I'm sorry, and that's the reason, because it's like, generally what happens if I can answer just like yes, no, it gets answered quite quickly. If it's one that takes a longer answer, it sits. So anyhow, the problem is that the Macintosh 2, it has those axial batteries, as you know. So the batteries with the two wires coming out of either side. Now the holes on the board are positioned for those axial batteries, and they are not in the same position as a battery holder, no matter which battery holder you have. So I've got a battery holder like that, and I've got a battery holder like, that's not a battery holder. Stop pretending. I think they're up here. Oh God, where are all my battery holders? Someone answer me. Oh, they're there. They're in the tray. So I've got these two battery holders, right? This one's like the original ones on the old Macs, and this is a slightly newer type. It doesn't need any sort of cover, mind you. This doesn't have a cover either. Now, you'll find that both of these have the same lead spacing on them, and that spacing is a lot closer together than the holes in the Mac 2 board. So when you put them in, you end up having to do some creative stuff to try and actually get the stuff mounted on there. One of them is you can put the hole in on one side, and then you can get the pin and you can bend it out sideways and then try and get a little wire going down the hole and joining up with it. That's one way of doing it. It works. Then there's this one here. This one has these long wiry bits, and you can kind of, what I've done with these is I've cut little slits in here for these bits of wire so that I can bend these out and then go through the holes, and that works as well. Then the other thing is they're quite close to each other that way as well, so when you put them in, you might have to shave the side off these battery holders. Now, these are not solutions. These are not good solutions that I'm providing you with. What I am planning to do, I haven't done it yet, but what I am planning to do, something just fell down. I am planning to create a 3D model of this holder. That one. However, creating it wider so that these little metal thingies that come out of it, you can just bend them out a little bit, so it doesn't matter if, you know, you can just do that and that. And then you'll be able to slot this in, and the battery holder will be wider because it'll fit the Mac 2, but it will, but you'll be able to slide these little guys into it and use this. That's the plan. I haven't done it yet, but that is the plan. Actually, I might do that later today because that's a cool plan. And so I would essentially be creating Mac 2, and I would make them a little thinner as well. I'd be creating Mac 2 specific battery holders that you would be able to buy this, take the little metal pieces out of it, and then use a 3D printed part to replace that. Now, I don't know if that's a good solution, but it's one of the things I'm planning. So, Apple actually had this problem and they solved it themselves. And what they did was I think it was the Mac 2X, which started its life with those axial batteries, but then finished its life in later production of the Macintosh 2X, where they actually started using battery holders. And what they did is they created a little daughter board that is a little PCB with a great big fat capacitor sitting on it and 2 battery holders, and that would actually just slide in. You'd solder that to the board, and then you'd put the batteries onto this little daughter card. Now, that's something that I would actually like to reproduce at some stage as well. Someone already has, but I've lost the link for it. So anyhow, it's a what seems like a very simple question has quite a lengthy and detailed answer. But that's essentially what the problem is. No one is actually making battery holders that fit the Mac 2 holes. So there we go. I hope that went part of the way to answering your question. I think I may even have, if I have a Mac 2 here somewhere, possibly. Oh, actually, yeah, the one I've got doesn't have battery holders on. All the ones with battery holders are up in the house. So, all right. So this is pretty ugly, a bit dirty. We're going to have a look around here and see if we can see any ugly-looking solder joints. So I'll just get the old microscope back. I'm doing the what's her name? What's that? UK Nigella Lawson microwave thing, you know, microwave. Okay, let's have a look at the microscope, shall we? There we go. Look at it in focus and everything. Reasonably. Okay. Analog board recap shouldn't really be causing a checkerboard issue. It can if it's not outputting enough voltage. Yeah. It's not the, yeah, slightly ugly soldering here, but. So one of the things that sometimes happens on the Classic and Classic 2 boards is when these large areas of copper here start to get a bit corroded, sometimes these little rings here, where the actual through hole comes through, sometimes they can break away from the main copper. I've seen it happen before, where it just gets like this corrosion around the edges, and then you have something that looks like it's perfectly soldered on, but then you realize that this little ring that's soldered on has actually corroded away from the main copper, and then it's not good at all. I'll be looking for cracked solder joints on this. That's not likely to cause the fluctuation. Oh, that doesn't look very nice, does it? It's not the bestest of solder joints, that one. So I'll probably redo these solder joints on the transformer here. So even though they don't look cracked, I know they can be a location of problems. I'll clean up some of these joints, and then we'll have a look-see. Where I'm highly likely to find cracked solder joints, often around here on the, what is this, the deflection thingy, the connector for the yoke, the yoke connector, and you can see there is a slight cracking of the solder joint there. Very, very slight, but it is there. A bit of cracking just going on around the edge there. So we'll clean that up. And a place where you almost always see cracking solder joints on the Classic is right here, because this is where this metal piece, which you can't see, this metal piece, which is the part with the power switch along the back, JJ Brubaker, hello. This is where it joins onto the board, and it just always cracks there, and there, and there, and there. So we'll clean those up as well. But, you know, I mean, I'm not finding anything particularly bad here. As I say, we'll clean up a few little things here and there. But I'm a little upset that that this is a job like this. I much prefer it when people just send me things that haven't been recapped and then I just fix them. When someone's already had a crack at fixing it, it's always like really frustrating, you know. 2016. Okay, let's have a look-see here. Check the voltages. I will do that. You know, there's a video just released about checking the voltages on a compact Mac. Did anyone else see that video? Right, where am I? Okay, so, yeah, cleaning up some solder joints. We'll start there. We'll start there and work backwards. The Macintosh Classic and Classic 2 don't have a lot of connectors. You've basically got the analog board, that is. You've got the yoke connector, and then you've got the hard drive power connector. I think that's the only two. All the rest are actually hardwired to the board. The speaker is hardwired to the board. All the little umbilical cables hardwired to the board. Sucking away the old solder here. If you're going to be replacing the solder, should take the old stuff away. Or as much of it as you can. I do every second one so that the component doesn't fall out. Sorry about the focus. I do every second one and then I go back and do the other two. Get some nice fresh solder here. Stick a paper clip in 6/8 at the same time and turn it on. No, that is not what I said, but never mind. I said you stick a paper clip into pin 6. You can put a paper clip into pin 8 if you want to read 12 volts, but the important thing to remember is that your adjustment is adjusting both 5 and 12 volts at the same time. So it's not like you can adjust 12 and then adjust 5. You basically take a reading, get 5 on the money, on the nose. Then if your 12 is still not in spec, you've got something else wrong with the board. Because you adjust both of them. Yep. 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 Sam, hello. Hello from Emily and Sam in Birmingham, Alabama. Well, hello to Emily and Sam. I hope things are going well in Birmingham, Alabama. I can tell you in Sydney, Australia at the moment, it is a little bit breezy, but it is also very, very warm. I mean, how warm? 31 degrees Celsius. So for anyone there who's quick on the Fahrenheit conversion. Okay, so redone all those ones. When was the last time I went,
smash that like button?
Oh, that's right, I did it just then. Beep. I've had some really good ideas for doing some YouTube videos lately. I just need the time to film them. This board is at an angle, which is why it keeps going in and out of focus. Because I move it in one direction, and then it's further away, and then I move it back, and then it's closer. It's terrible. And I apologise. I need little feet. Little feet. Should 3D print little classic analog board feet that allow me to hold it flat. Wouldn't that be a great idea? Now that one's way out of focus for me. Oh, fume extractor. -22 C in Melbourne. Yeah, wow. It's a bit chilly. You had some warmth there a little while ago, though, didn't you? I think from memory. Got up to like 35 or something the other day. tell you what though, it has been a really, really mild summer compared to some we've had in the past. Crikey. This summer has been colder than spring from a couple of years ago. Oh, someone's ringing me. Oh crap, I didn't bring my phone with me. Yeah. Just bear with me a second. Bear with me just a moment. I would like to reply to this person. Right, okay, there we go. Sorry about that, slight pause. Yes, no, that wasn't actually my phone, that was my, that's that stupid FaceTime thing that starts ringing. I need to switch it off, but it's very annoying, very, very tedious. So does that mean every time my phone rings, this computer goes off? It's possible. Right, so where was I? I was... I'm very annoyed that I didn't bring my phone down with me, because it means I can't even take photos of things. All right, this is, I think, a little bit on the full side. Oh God, so's my bin. Where am I going to empty all this? Okay, so if anyone is wondering why I'm using this manual solder sucker instead of my mechanical one, it's primarily because the other thing takes time to heat up, and I'm not sure if I can be bothered for that, for the number of sort of solder joints I'm going to be working on here. Nope. Nope. Minus 8 degrees C in Chicago. No, thank you. Minus 10.5, minus 16. Crazy. It never, ever, ever gets that cold here. Can't wait for 40 C plus days. Like, yeah, so generally, it's usually around sort of January and February that we get the real heat, and they're saying that by that time we're likely to, because at the moment we're getting that, what is it, the La Nina, which of course it's made in a much wetter, cooler summer, but the effects of La Nina are likely to peter out around January, so we could be getting some serious heat then. Something to look forward to. Okay, I'm just going to clean up some of these solder joints here that I do not like the look of. And then we'll put it back together, and we're going to fire it up, and then we're going to check the voltages. And then, assuming it's something that can't just be easily adjusted, and I don't think it will, we will probably then have to start potentially removing some of the caps that have been put on it, the replaced caps that are on it. So what that one? Where does that? What? Just I'll try and figure out what's going on there. Not even really sure why. Weird. Weird. I need to get myself some solder wick, kind of clean these up a little bit. Snow. No. Falling for snow tonight. Jay from the House of Moth, he's a man who likes his snow, I tell you. He's been very disappointed because he hasn't had much snow this season. I must confess I would much rather have warm weather than cold weather. I'm not very good at cold. Okay. Oh, it's an interesting one, this one. I'm not even sure why these solder joints have been touched, because they are not associated with any component that I would have normally replaced. So anyhow, I'll clean them up, get some fresh solder on there. Because it's starting to break, as it just did then, I'm going to use a great big blob of solder to hold it all together. And I'll just get my little scalpel here. All right, let's see how we can make this look. About this little bit of fluff here. Away with you, fluff. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but I think it's practical. Big blob, isn't it? Perhaps too big. All right, let's see if that holds it together. And curfew from 10 a.m. to 10 to 5 a.m. Oh, that's no good. All right, let's see if there are any. There's a messy one there as well. Got so much fluff on here now. It's my own fault. No, 2 degrees, no. That's a big blob too. All right, let's keep looking. Just looking for anything that looks a little bit nasty. Oh, I haven't done my little fixie, soldery, jointsy thingsy here. I'm right under the, I'm on the other side of the flyback at the moment, so it's making the board tip right up. Right up. There we go. So, let's get some of this out. SADMAC 356. How are you today? Have I said hello to you yet? I'm not sure I have. Just thinking to myself the other day, I don't remember seeing Sad Mac 356 for quite some time. Where's he been hiding? Will this work? That won't work. What about this? Let's hold that down while I put solder on it. Just using a little clamp there. Now this is a big piece of metal, so I've got to get real hot. Fresh. Right, let's move along. So I'm just cleaning up these little bits where the sort of metal part of the chassis joins to the analog board, because they always get cracked. Oops, wrong thing. So what we're actually attempting here is something that works sometimes, but not often. And that's what's referred to as a witchcraft repair. That's the phrase that I coined. And that's where you basically open something up, you look, you poke around, you don't actually do anything, and then you just hope that when you plug it in next time it'll start working. Like witchcraft. And this is what we're hoping for today. We're hoping for a nice little witchcraft repair. Garth, hello. And Angelo Telesforo, hello. Hot zone 27 degrees is 2350. That's 1150. Okay. Jeff Barnard is here, hello. Okay, all right, so I have fixed that and that and that. And now we'll just have a little look around here, just going to inspect the board a bit, just to see if there's anything that looks really untoward, other than the stuff I've looked at already. And if I still can't get it to work after that, we may have to start taking off the caps that have already been replaced on this and re-replacing them. I'm not a huge fan of doing that, but where's the... There it is. I don't like the look of that. Looks a bit ugly. Got to clean him up some. Scalpel. There we go. This feels like it is not sharp at all. TFMG, hello. Why aren't you scraping? Okay. Okay. Might look at this one as well. Don't like the look of it. Oops. That's right, you've got to prime these, don't you? How much fun, Adam McGee, hello, how much fun is it desoldering dip chips? I mean, it is just one of the pleasures in life that needs to be savoured. Being slightly sarcastic with my delivery there. So a couple of these joints here where we don't seem to have particularly good kind of bonding with the solder here, and my guess is it's basically just because these pads are a little on the dirty side. So we're just going to do our best to clean them up, and that should hopefully make it so that the solder will bond a little bit better. I'm just going to see what's on the other side of this. Okay. Oh, let's see. Ah, what did I take out? I took out a... Oh, look at that. There's a bit of... But you can't see it. There's a bit of gunge there. That's, I dare say, left over from the cap that was there before. We might just tidy that up a little bit. It does concern me that there could be leaking electrolyte giving us grief here. One of the things I do when I do recap these is when I take the old caps off, I clean really, really thoroughly. Just snip them off and desolder the legs. I like it. I like it. 2200 10 volts. I'm inclined to just replace it with a new one because it's off. I need to find my 10 volt container. Here's my 10 volt container. Hello, capacitors. $2,210 volt. This is a nice Panasonic one. So put that there. Why aren't you going flat? Oh, it's that. I'm going to replace this great big fat cap. Because he's a little bit fat for the spot. He's making it hard for me to put other caps in, so. I'm not trying to hate shame the cap. Whoops. Fat shame the cap. but he's got to go. It's just such a different job when you're doing, when you're doing recapping. Apart from the fact that you keep dropping caps on the floor. Excuse me. 2200 16 volt. Where's my 16 volt? Now I happen to know I've got 2 different 16 volt containers. Now what are the chances that I grabbed the right one the first time? Okay? I grabbed both, so. 2216. I've got a nice tall thin one here, so this one fit in here a lot better. Hello, I recycle Apple Mac. I recycle Apple Mac as well. Well, recycle's probably the wrong word. Better clean up these pads while I'm at it. So we're attempting a repair here where we don't really do anything. We just push and prod and poke and stuff, and we hope that it'll just magically work afterwards, just because it likes me. Right. So, alrighty. So I am. Geez, I'm being very, very boring and quiet in this live stream today, aren't I? I really need to step it up a bit. So this is a slightly better sized capacitor now. 2210. So that one and that one is up that way. And then we'll solder these two guys on. I'm able to get these a lot flusher, a lot more flush, because they're a better size cap. A person who recapped these basically went into an Australian electronics store and bought all the caps, and that's fine. He spent the extra money and bought low ESR caps, but you don't get much choice in the sizes of them from places like that. So he got one that's quite short and fat and just doesn't fit in the space very well. Okay. Right, so that's a little bit better. I feel more comfortable about that. Just inspecting, looking for anything that stands out that maybe says to me that something's not making good contact. Got cracks or other forms of ugliness. Looks a little bit cracky, but that's just on the power switch. We'll do it, but we know it's really not a problem. Sorry, the power connector. Jeremy Bolanos, hello, thank you, and welcome back. Steve from Mac84. He did a little PC video recently, which I still haven't seen. I must confess. I do apologise for it. I'm actually so far behind on my YouTube viewing. So many people have been releasing content this time of year, and I have just been, I've just been so busy. But yeah, Steve did a little video on I think it was Apple File Exchange, I think, so the joys of PC have been filling his world lately. All right, okay, there we have. We've done the nothing repair here, where I haven't actually repaired anything or fixed anything or anything like that. And we're going to just test it and see if it works, because, you know, it's a time for miracles. Multimedia review. Got annoyed this weekend because my meter doesn't have beep on diode mode. Yes. As I actually said in my multimeter review when I did that one, I've had so many issues with so many multimeters. I feel like very few of them have just had everything right. Now, I like the Fluke. I mentioned that I've got my Fluke, and I do like the Fluke. There's still things about that bother me as well, but that's the one I've been most happy with. But that's so expensive. So, ding. All right. Just gonna have a look on this side. Someone sent me an analog board for a Classic recently, and then I opened it up and they'd recapped it, and I noticed that they'd done quite a bit wrong in the recapping. There was a few caps that were around the wrong polarity and stuff like that. And I fixed those mistakes. It still doesn't work, so I hate to think what's been popped. Not looking forward to it. Okay, all right, we're going to put it together, see what happens, and then of course another purpose of putting it together is to test the voltage. That goes there, which means that should be there, and that should be up there. Oh, bugger you. That should go under. There we go. All right, so let's get this into position. That's there, that's there. He's there. You. Where are you? There you are. Come on. Right, so that's good. Right, let's screw this together now. Once the screws are in, it's a lot easier to work with. Thank you for joining, Thomas. Sorry you had to dash. Speak later. Oh, hang on. Garth super chatted. Thank you very much, Garth. Have you ever removed, replaced an 040 socket successfully? And if so, what do I need to know? Don't do it. Just don't do it. So, what I have been told, now I've never done this, but what did get recommended to me for removing sockets, I have done it, and it wasn't terribly successful, but anyhow, it's another story, was solder needles. And someone sent me a link, and I haven't actually looked at it yet. But apparently solder needles are a way of getting solder out from pins and sockets and stuff like that, but I've never done it. So I am saying words. I don't even know what it is, but that's what I've been told. So maybe if you do a YouTube search on solder needles, someone might be able to enlighten you on whether this is something that would help in getting that socket out. Because I tell you what, as I say, I have done it before and it's a friggin' nightmare. You know, the thing is that when you do something like that, you might successfully get like 50 of them, you know, released from the solder. But it only takes like half a dozen of them left stuck behind to make it impossible to get the bloody thing out. Okay, so we've got the little yokey thingy, what do you call it, who's a fudge thing here, that's on. Got the ground connected, it's very important that's connected. We've got the, so that's the CRT controller, that's the yoke connected, that's the anode cap. Then we are going to knock over a microphone, and we'll get the logic board. I didn't inspect the logic board, interestingly enough. Is that something I should have done? Perhaps. I am going to inspect the logic board because there are a few mistakes that sometimes people make when they're recapping these, and I need to check and make sure if any of those mistakes have happened. So, time for the trusty microscope again. Sean, hello, thank you for joining. I watched your retrospective, your 2021 retrospective thing, and I am absolutely and totally jealous of your new studio. I cannot believe how much space you have there. It drives me bananas. Right, so let's get rid of a little bit of splashy solder there. This would like a clean. I can see quite a lot of gunge in there. Look, the solder's a little bit blobby. There's a definite lack of flux going on here, and maybe these pads could have done with a little bit more cleaning, but it's not too bad. Let's have a look here. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Got to look under here and check the sound chip from an angle. But, you know, the old classic is not a particularly difficult one to recap. There aren't that many caps. Probably the trickiest part about it is this bit here, right next to the plastic connector. You just don't want to melt things. But don't like the look of that, the way that solder is getting really close to that trace there. Get a bit of a beepity beep beep here. Okay, we don't have any continuity there, so that's fine. Beep. May as well clean it up while we're here though, eh? So I'm going to get my flux, which is hiding somewhere. I have one tube of flux left, and I'm going to have to order some more. I'm not looking forward to that. I'm not looking forward to it. Sorry, soldering iron's gone cold. There you go, just clean that one up a little bit. Nicer join now. Alright, okay, so let's put it all back together and see what we get. Yep, cool. top view, here we go. Okay, I'm plugging everything in. I really don't need to do that, but I am plugging everything in. It is good to have everything plugged in when you're doing things like voltage adjustment. You know, you want to make sure the hard drive's in there and all the RAM's in there, so you're adjusting the voltage with it, all the load that's going to have. But where did I put my? There it is. Okay. In goes the RAM upgrade, and then let's plug it in and we'll see what we get. So for this, we're probably better off with a front view like this, where I can at least camera down a little bit. We can have a look and see what's happening on the screen. So we're all plugged in, we're all connected, everything's all good. I've got this nice exposed power supply thingy here, so I'm going to want to be super careful with that because I don't want to, you know, die. So let's do that. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I got a nice clippy sound from the speaker, so I know the speaker's okay. And we got some pulsing. Let's check the voltage. Right, so we got one here, and we got one, 2, 3, 4, 6. 3.89 volts. That's not what we want, is it? No. So one of the questions that has to be asked is this something we can do with a mere adjustment? Is 3.87-ish enough that we can adjust with that little variable resistor inside? I think the answer to that is no. But I am curious to find out. Now this is the part where we have to be super, super careful because we're going to be dealing with nastiness and voltages and nasty. And 2, 3, 4. And I wouldn't recommend anyone do this. I'm only doing it because I am an idiot. Ugh. Use your 3D printed extension tool. That's what I'm going to use. I would actually like to print a longer one, but that's the maximum I can print. Thereabouts. And then I need my little clippy thingies. There's my clippy thingies. And bam, bam. You saw my video. He saw my video. But we're still going to do it. We're still going to test it because, you know, we need, you know, this is what we do here. We test. So, switch him on. Actually, no, that's not how you do it. First thing you do is we take off the jewelry. Got to promote the right sorts of behaviors here. And then I am going to pop this in. And get him in spot. Okay, he's in the spot now. Now I can switch it on. And you'll be pleased to know that the voltage adjustment is making absolutely no change whatsoever. So there we go. There is a good follow-up to my last video. It's not what I want though. I don't want to do this. I hate working on stuff that people have already done. Okay, a little bit of a discharge-a-rooney here. Again, not needed, but you're going to do it anyway. What are you adjusting? 5 volt on the analog board. That is correct. But, in my experience, the adjustment, it makes such a small amount of adjustment in there. Probably only maximum of 1 volt either way, I'd say. Probably even less than that. You know, if you're ending up in a situation where you're getting behaviour like that, checkerboard yuckiness, the adjustment isn't gonna do anything. Now, what we will do, just because, is we'll stick a different classic board in here because it just makes sense to test that. Should I try? Should I try this unfinished one from Kai? I mean, it's my assembly, but Kai's board. Come on. Come on. Right, so I just, you know, just gonna try it with a different logic board. I mean, why not? Doing different stuff. Oh. Helps if you actually connect the flyback transformer back up. Anyone else spot that? No, you probably not because I didn't have the camera facing. That was pretty silly. But thankfully, I don't believe detrimental. There we go. All right, so let's try that again, shall we? Right, okay, and yeah, okay, so we're getting exactly the same thing with a different and known good logic board. So at least we can rule that out. We know it's going to be an analog-based issue. I had 240 volts of the finest Australian electricity. Having said that, last time I checked down here, I was getting like 231 or something. It's like, who's robbing me? Who's robbing me of my volts? Okay. Bar sign pouring into the Mac. What if I do it with my head? Captain 318, hello. It has been a little while. I haven't seen you here for some time. We are right in the middle of what I would consider to be one of the most tedious live streams ever. I started this off, and it's my own fault for not checking this more closely. If I'd have read it, I wouldn't have actually live streamed this computer, because this isn't the sort of the more interesting stuff, in my opinion, anyway. So this is a computer that was sent to me by someone, and he has recapped both the logic board and analog board, and it still doesn't work. And I'm sort of these sorts of repairs are they're the really annoying, tedious ones, because they Oops, there goes my de-zapping tool. So the big problem with these is that I often end up having to kind of undo all the work that they've already done. I end up having to recap the thing, and that's kind of frustrating, you know, when you're doing that and you're taking these new caps out, hoping that you might find something they might have missed or something like that, or there might be some gunk or something like that. Right, so I think what I'll probably do is I will remove the remaining caps in this little cluster here and replace them. That's usually the main, that cluster of caps is usually the main problem. Maybe there's some gunk under there that hasn't been cleaned away, maybe. Anyhow, either way, I'm not too thrilled about it, but you know, it is what it is. Another cliched sayings like that. Oh, I can stick my watch back on now. And my wedding ring. My white gold wedding ring. Okay, so let's do this one. It's a little cap. Oh, test this one. Capacitance. Come on. $420. A little bit out for something that's meant to be $470. Whoopsie. 50 volt. I need a 50 volt. There we go. This pile of caps next to me here is going to get so high that it is in great risk of falling over. There we go. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, I tell you. $470.50. There we go. Let's see what my fancy, expensive one reads. It's very expensive. $466.9. That's a little bit closer. Better quality capacitor, as simple as that. I mean, it's not likely to be the issue, but. Oh, it's RetroComp. Hello, Tone. Haven't seen you in ages. How you doing? What I am working on at the moment is extremely tedious. I am not having a good time. I just want everyone to know I'm not having a good time. I thought to myself, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to whip open a classic that has these problems. We're going to recap the logic board. We're going to recap the analog board. Everything's going to be perfect. What happened? This is what happened. I opened it up to find the logic board was already recapped and the analog board was already recapped. Now, the customer did tell me this. He did. He did. It's even in the job ticket. I didn't read it before doing the live stream. See, if I had read that, I would have chosen a different computer to live stream. I would have chosen something that was, you know, in a kind of a virgin state rather than one that had already been worked on. It is my own stupid fault. Bing. Bing. We're not watching for the easy ones here. Yeah, I know. But I don't know if you've ever noticed it, but when I do the easy ones, I'm always a lot happier. I always have a bigger smile on my face. Oh dear. I mean, when I have the difficult ones and I get them working, I'm always pretty jolly then. I get that. But tell you what, I haven't done in a while, a bloody SE30. What's going on there? Next one up. Hey, fell out. Boop, boop, boop. Mm. Mm. Whoopsie. This is getting a bit clogged up by the sounds of it. By this stage, I can fairly safely say I should have fired up the mechanical solder sucker. Just for the few I did before, not so much. But now, after all these, I'm thinking, yeah, I really should have. Okay, let's see if we can whip all these out now. It's snowing. It's snowing there now. What? Always in shock when something works the first time. Yeah, me too. Get out of there. You have no place there anymore. Come on. Thank you. So as I say, I recognise these capacitors because I am also someone who shops at JCar Electronics, and these are the JCar Electronics low ESR caps that you buy from there. I haven't really checked to see if they're any good. Let's see what this one reads. This one is 2200 microfarad, 10 volts. I can thinking 22, 24, close. And this is, it says it's low ESR. I mean, I don't know. How low? How low can you go? Ugh. Is this one that's on the chart? No, it's not. I'll pick one that's on the chart. 1000, and this is 16 volt. So I should be getting 0.09 or less. So we're going to check the extra sexy resistance. .032, .029. So yep, this one's good in terms of its ESR. And let's just check to see the capacitance on this one. Why? Why not? So it's I don't really expect to find capacitor problems here. What I'm more looking for, I'm looking for other problems, either maybe bits of electrolyte floating around. Yep, that's all fine. You can't see it, but it was 1000. It's meant to be 1000. You know, I'm looking for any gunk, residual gunk left behind. So there's a little bit here, but not too bad. But I'll still give it a bit of a clean. Oh, I'm nearly out of Q-tips, cotton buds. You hear sheep. Where did you hear sheep? Oh crap, I didn't let the chickens out. They must be so mad at me. Excuse me 1 minute while I go let the chickens out. Oh yeah, man, those chickens were pissed. Oh dear. Oh dear, I rolled over a cable. It's wrapped around the wheel. There we go. Pop it over there, safe from wheels. Whew. Whew. Oh wow. Little bit of excitement in an otherwise dull day. Okay, right, let's continue putting these caps in. Where's my recapping guide? Recapping guide, here it is. So I have a $2210, 1016, 1016. $1,016, 2210. How did 10 end up all the way down there? I need some more of these soon. Okay, so 2210, 1016, 1010. And 470.25 times 2. Whee. Big pile of caps. I apologise, I haven't read the chat for a minute, so if anyone's desperately trying to get my attention, I apologise. Is it fixed yet? No. The internet is becoming flaky. Uh-oh. Where do you get your capacitor kits? I don't actually buy kits. I buy large quantities of capacitors from a variety of different places. From what are they called? DigiKey, from Element 14, from Mouser, from RS Components. It does depend a lot on a lot of things, but from those places, and I just buy big chunks of caps, and you just keep getting more and 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 more. But I always seem to run out of the ones that I need the most. Oh, I moved my. I can't put you away yet. I still need you. So there we go. So 2210, and then that one is going to be 1016. And he's going to have a little bit of a positive up that way. When's a negative down that way? There we go, there's another 2210. And what's this one? That's 1010. Okay, pop that in there. And that in there. Oh dear. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best to stay energetic. You can see the motivation just drifting away, can't you? Trying to think of something at the moment. It's just not popping into my head. I can't think of it soon. I'm going to open it up to the chat and see if anyone out there remembers. You know what? I didn't clean some of these up very much. Should have a close look at some of these. Some of them look all right, but others look like they might need a clean. What am I hitting? That's my multimeter about to switch itself off. It's kind enough to tell me. Dave's Vintage Apple Tech is here. Hello, Dave. How's things? Today is the public holiday associated with New Year's Day out here. So it is the, what is it, 3rd, I think, of January? But because New Year's Day happened on a Saturday, they have carried the public holiday over to Monday. I think that goes anyway. I'm certainly assuming it's public holiday today. If it's not, I'm going to appear like a bit of a wally. All right, I'm content with that. Let's get a few of these soldered down. Change views again. Okay, so I basically solder one pin of each one, and then I go onto the other side and I push the cap down to hold it flat, and then I go and solder the second hole, just like that. And snip, 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 snip. There we go. There's another thing that I'm intending to do here while I'm at it, and I'm gonna, you can't really see here, but need to zoom in, but a lot of these caps, these little ones that have been replaced, he's actually put them in hanging up like this, and I don't like it. I don't like the way they're hanging up like that. It bothers me. Looking. Anyone sees a problem, just jump out. Just say it. Hey, there's a problem there. I'm just looking to see if there's anything obvious sticking out here. Oh, that's the... I might replace this one while I'm at it, because I don't think they're a particularly good quality cap, those ones. What's that one? That is a 22050. Yeah. The one I want always ends up at the bottom. Always. Whoa, shut button. Sorry if there's air blowing sounds. That's the air conditioner, which is keeping me cool. It needs to be here. Yep. Those caps will get turfed. I'm certainly not going to reuse them. Keep losing my things. Oh, come on, you stupid thing. Thank you. Thank you. Do-do-do. Joe is here. Joe, I must apologise. I streamed at the same time as you. It was not intentional. I set the whole thing up, and I was just doing the finishing touches, and then I looked up and I saw that you were streaming the other show, and I was like, oh crap! I streamed at the same time, and it was not intentional. I was not trying to steal your thunder. I'm sure it didn't have any impact on your viewership anyway, but as I say, it was an error. It was not a personal attack. But I'm paying for it because I'm not enjoying this repair at all. Not enjoying it one little bit. Crap. Don't like that. I want to throw this away. So, what I have here, for those who have just happened to be maybe just tuning in a little bit late, I'm doing a lot of hand waving and sort of stuff like that, trying to get this thing to work without actually doing any sort of proper diagnostic or repair or anything like that, because I'm still having trouble recovering from the situation that I put myself in here today, which is grabbing a job that someone had already tried to repair and failed, and they're my least favourite jobs to work on. But anyhow, what we've done is we've replaced the caps that they used. I have no reason to think there was anything wrong with those caps. The joints didn't look too bad, some of them a little bit iffy, but nothing particularly major. So in doing so, I expect there to be absolutely no difference whatsoever. I think it'll be exactly as it was before. But hey, let's test it. You know what it is? You know what I think is bothering me about it the most is, you ever been in a situation where you're like, you're looking forward to something, and then something goes wrong, like, hey, yeah, I'm really looking forward to going out to dinner tonight, and then the restaurant contacts you and says, oh, sorry, we've made a mistake, we can't honour the reservation or something, or I don't know, you're about to have a friend over and they cancel at the last minute or something like that. It's that feeling of looking forward to something and then getting hit with that disappointment. And that is exactly what happened to me when I opened this computer up. You can see it. You can see it in my eyes. If you go back and you watch it, you'll see the life drain from my face as I realise that this is a re-repair. So far, I've already started this up without the anode cap on it by mistake. How cool is that? I'm certainly not going to make a habit of doing that. Right, so let's just connect this in. I'm not going to connect much. I'm only going to connect the logic board. Nothing else. Nothing else. Okay. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, let's do lots of double checks and stuff. Okay, so what do we expect when we plug this in? We expect it to go floop. It'll make a flop sound when it switches on, and then we'll get no sound whatsoever, and then we'll see a wobbly checkerboard. 3, 2, 1. No chime, but I did get the flopping sound from the speaker, which I expected. And I'm not getting any picture now. Could that possibly be because of my voltage playing around with? Let's check what the voltage is now. Because I'm not getting any picture anymore, and I was getting a picture before. Oh, I'm flopping now. Can you hear that? That's a plus. We're flopping. Oh, I have to turn the multimeter on. They work better that way. We are going to, I was mucking around with the voltage adjustment, and I'm going to muck around with it again because I may have inadvertently done something and left it in a really bad position there. But it's very different behavior this time around, which I don't know if is good or if it's bad. There we go. Let's connect that. Connect that. That. Oh, who's the other Australian? Yeah, okay. We're in there. Right, so the fact that I've actually gone backwards suggests to me that I've done something horrendously wrong. Because we're now, it's fluctuating, it's just getting fluctuating voltage. But what we haven't done, we haven't tried that with a different logic board, have we? No. Because the logic board could have problems as well, couldn't it? Maybe. But I don't think so. I honestly think I did something wrong. And yeah, okay, same problem. So yeah, all right, so I've done something disastrously wrong here. I mean, it's nice to get a different result, I'll say that. But the result is so bad that it indicates to me that I've really stuffed something up. Yeah, unfortunately the brightness is software on these, so it's not like an SC or an SE30 or a Plus or a 128K or a 512K. Where you can just sort of think, oh, there's a brightness at the front. Not the case with these ones. What do you suppose I did? Did I forget to solder something? That's possible. Welcome to the What Did Bruce Do Wrong show. Mike, you've got to watch all the time if you want to see the explosions. You can't just pop in and out hoping that you'll turn up and catch one. Okay. So basically, we're dealing with a situation here where I have probably done something stupid. Let's see if we can eliminate the probably part of that. Holy moly. Yep, sure did. Wow. And the capacitor's letting me know as well, because it's about to blow up. Seriously, if I'd have left that on for a bit longer, we would have got to have seen some excitement. So, let's remove this capacitor that nearly blew up, and let's replace it with one that's not about to blow up. Gosh. I'm having an off day, all right. Cool, eh? Let's see if we can get this on a microscope. I'm happy. Okay, let's grab another one and put it in the right way. And then maybe later on, I'll grab that cap, connect it up to my bench power supply, and we'll blow it up proper. Tried to get Joe from Joe's Computer Museum to blow up a cap once, and he wouldn't do it. I see why I got why I got mixed up. I looked at the plus sign of the capacitor next to it, so that's why I messed it up. But still, no excuses. I stuffed it. That was all me. No, it's not a reefer capacitor. There are reefers on this. They look quite different to the other reefers you might be used to. They are just there, two of them. Bing, bang. Right, so let's check it again, shall we? Because, you know, all right. Confident now. Confident I've gone around the right way. So let's test it again. Too many flammable materials around. Joe, what kind of excuse is that? Gosh. So sensible. Plug in the speaker. So, at this stage, I would welcome a checkerboard. Right, let us continue. Every time I put this analog board in, I squish this cable up against, and I really should be more careful in future. Yeah, no, yeah, that way. Come on, thank you. Okay, all right. I have pulled this thing apart and put it together so many times during this live stream. How tedious. Right, let's check and see if what we've got plugged in here, because I always like to be sure. So we've got that connected, we've got that connected, we've got that connected, we've got that connected. That should be enough. The speaker is connected, I believe. Yes, it is. Okay. All right, we're going to try it again. And as I say, what we're expecting is checkerboard. I hope we get checkerboard. Yeah, okay. We're back where we started. So that's cool. No lasting damage done or anything like that. And let's go back and check the voltage. Expect that it's in the same way. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And plug. Yep. So same again. Around about 3.8. 3.8 volts. Should I poke it with a stick? It's worked in the past. True, it is true. I have actually had ones that have come good after poking them with a stick. It wasn't a stick though, it was something non-conductive. Well, a stick is non-conductive, but yeah, I'm going to poke it with something. Oh, toothbrush. Toothbrush is good for poking things. So I had one where it would help me diagnose the problem, that I actually poked it in a particular place on the analog board and it came good. And it's like, aha, and then it was an issue with the component in that area. Seems stupid. Feels stupid, but sometimes you find problems. No, doesn't look like the stick's going to do it today. Okay. No poking with a stick bendy solutions today. It's too much to ask, isn't it? Yeah, so we've got a situation occurring with this analog board that is usually fixed by recapping. And the problem we have with this is that it is already recapped. But the complication that is added to that is it was not recapped by me. And I cannot speak for the quality of the capacitors used. I would not have thought that if you would put low quality caps in this, you would have such a detrimental impact to what's happening, you know? I mean, the complete and total non-workingness. Then, of course, the other thing is that someone has made a mistake in much the same way that I did when I accidentally put a cap in the wrong way. Often with these sorts of repairs, when I'm working on them, I actually spend quite a lot of time just sitting there staring at them in silence and thinking over things and stuff like that. And of course that makes a very dull live streaming because, you know, just it's not a lot of fun just sitting there watching me stare at something and trying to figure out what the problem is. I've solved a lot of problems that way, but it just doesn't make for very interesting live streaming. Beep, 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 beep. Okay, I'll switch you off then. How about that? Save you from beeping. Spoilers, become a patron. Cool. Francisco Perez, I don't think I've said hello to you, did I? In another forum, they have to replace the IC on QP1 on the analog board. And did it fix this specific problem? So I will gladly change QP1. Which one is it? QP1, there he is. Hello, QP1. Got any spare analog boards floating around? Yeah, there's one. Oh, this one's already been rated. Okay, I'm going to take QP1 off it. And you know why? Because it's more interesting than what I've been doing. I'm rating QP1 from a known working board here. It would obviously be better to replace it with a new one, but we are just testing, let's face it. May not fix the problem. Come on. There we go. Out you come, QP1. Mount. Thank you. Okay, well we've whipped QP1 out of an analog board. Hey Max. Tried heating, cooling the board with freezer spray heat gun. I haven't. Why? What do you think heating, well, so do you think the heat is likely to change things? It's possible. Shush. Chicken's gone nuts out there. Nuts. Chicken goes nuts. So we're going to do this QP1. We'll try that, and then I'll also try the heat. I know I certainly have had analog boards that have been affected by heat. I've got one in particular, which it's mine. I haven't been bothered doing anything to fix it. And it works for the most part, but it just likes to randomly restart sometimes. And when I hit that with heat, it settles down. Okay, there's the unwanted QP1, which might be fine. And here's the other QP1. And there's a little dot. So he's going to be that way. Come on. That way. There we go. Right. Rudy's Retro Intel, hello. Yep, possibly. Oh, I'm definitely gonna do your little trick once I've replaced this QP1. I'm gonna give that a try, Max. Max, I've got a 2SI. I've got a bunch of your boards here at the moment, don't I? But one of those is a 2SI, I think, from memory. I was working on that for quite a few hours yesterday, and it is giving me grief galore. I'm getting a white screen, but no chime, and not getting the rounded corners and the cursor coming up. So it's there's lots and lots and lots and lots of trace rot on it, but so far I haven't found any that appears to be breaking through the traces. The traces actually seem to be intact, so I haven't found any broken traces on it yet, just lots of trace rot. Okay, well that's the old QP1 in there, and then we're going to try it, see how it goes now, and then we're also going to try the old heat gun. See if it makes a difference. So I may get the SI working. I'm not going to give up on it yet, but I'm just letting you know that it's a problem that I have actually had with another SI before. And I tell you, if I can figure out what the problem is, I'll be very happy. There's obviously something about the way the 2SI is made that gives it that effect. It's the same as, like, you know, with the SE30, how it does that CMAC effect, and that can often be an indicator of lots and lots of different types of problems. It's not necessarily one thing that gives that CMAC display on the Mac. And I feel like the SI is the same, that when it does that white screen thing, it's a little bit like the 2SI version of CMAC. Flyback transformer. Okay, bing, bang, bong. Get out of it. Okay. All right, so what we are going to do now, we are going to bing, bang, bong, plugged in the speaker. Yes. Plugged in the power, yes. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to fire it up, see what he doth, and then we're going to hit it with some hot air and see if that fixes it. And then if it still doesn't work, I'm probably going to stop the live stream because I'm getting bored with this computer. Yeah, same thing. So, time for the hot air. Oh, it's not wobbling anymore. Let's check the voltage. That's interesting. So we got rid of the wobble. Oh, what? That's interesting. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's interesting. I mean, I will tell you what it is, but I want to try something first. I have to get up. I've got a bad back at the moment, so moving is not my favourite thing to do. Oh dear. Sorry, just laughing at Mac84's recap of Mac website. All right, so imagine my surprise when I start reading 5 volts from the 5-volt rail. And 12 volts from the 12-volt rail. Geez, I'm glad Mac's turned up. Want to come and repair some of these computers, Max? Okay, so what this makes me think now is that there is actually a problem with the logic board as well. And we'll test that by grabbing another logic board, which I have just here. Always got classic logic boards lying around, usually several. And we will connect this one up. We'll just unplug the mains. It still looks balked. That's Michael's professional opinion. Good one, Mike. Balked. The thing is that if we're getting a nice steady 5 volts and 12 volts from the power supply, there is absolutely no reason I can see why that logic board wouldn't boot up, which makes me think that the logic board has a problem as well. Okay, so ready, 3, 2, 1. And there you have it. Don't worry about that flickering. That flickering is just being caused by the, what do you call that thing with the thing? Frequency misalignment, shall we call it. Okay, so that's a, that is a classic, this is, I should mention that this is a Kai special logic board here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just plug this in and we're going to boot from the ROM. Because, oh no we're not. I haven't connected up a keyboard thing to that one yet. I have to try another board. Hang on, hang on, hang on. I've just done something. I can't see anything on the screen at the moment, so if anyone's... Come on. There we go. All right. So, let's switch this off. Let's grab a classic board that I might have finished and actually connected an ADB port to. All right. No, 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 no. Yes. Now this here is the first revision of the Mac Classic logic board. Anyone who has not watched the videos on that, I don't expect you to watch all of them, but if you want a summary, watch part 4 of the building a brand new Macintosh Classic, because that summarizes the whole thing. My neighbour's just started up his car. And it's a noisy, horrible thing. Way too few cylinders. I don't mind the gurgle of a V8, but this thing is just an awful 4-cylinder thing. So anyhow, this has got all my repair patches in it and everything, but it works. That's the most important thing. It works. And so I'm going to connect this up. Just watched part 4 earlier today. Oh, I'm pleased to hear it. Did you enjoy it? Because I certainly enjoyed making it. I am going to go and buy myself a whole stack of this QP1 things. No, actually it wasn't Max that suggested the QP1, it was someone else. I have to go back into the chat and look. He suggested the heat. Oh, I put it over here, didn't I? Yep. So, what is it? It's a CNY75GB. I have to look that one up, see if it's still available to buy. Hopefully it is. Because if it is, I will get myself a big supply of those. Because I do work on a few of these classics. Oh, look at you. Look at you, Joe. I wonder if that's something that's just readily available on like Mouser or something, or whether I'm going to have to go to UT source. Right, so we just want to boot this up into ROM, just because. So got that there, that's fine, that's cool. It's plugged in there. This is only got 1 megabyte of RAM at the moment, but that will still allow it to later. Hey, look at that. This brings us much joy when you boot into ROM, doesn't it? Just love the idea that the Classic's got an operating system built into it. Wish they all had that. I wish all computers had a scaled down version of the operating system they were released with in the ROMs that you could just boot into. I wish that. It is what I wish, that you could start it up without a hard drive connected to it. How good would that be? Okay. I'll have to scroll back in the chat and find out who else. So someone basically said, I went on to a forum and they said replace QP1, and of course I replaced QP1 and it fixed it. So it was clearly someone who knew what they were talking about that said that. Yeah, well, they just have to make big ROMs, Jay. All right, so okay, so we are part of the way there now. We've got an analog board that's pretty happy. I mean, I might need to go in and check a few things out, but at the moment, looking at it, it seems pretty good. What I need to sort out now is why this logic board is stuffed. So let's see if we can do that in a rush and a raw, because I know people's time's valuable. And I also know that in some parts of the world, like not here, it's getting quite late at night. It is 3:30 in the afternoon here. I've still got things that I need doing, but I really would like to say I fixed a computer in its entirety. Yeah, I do need a symptom page. There've been a couple where I'm thinking to myself, oh, I need to put more information. All right, so let's just have a look at this board and see if we can find anything that might be a little bit unhappy with it. So let's just go to the microscope view here. You know what? I didn't check the ROM. It could be that simple. It could just be the ROM chip. Well, I'll have a quick look around. I'll try it with a different ROM chip. It's a little bit of scunge here, so it could just need a clean. Boo, 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 boo. Boo, boo, boo. So there's not much in the way of trace damage or anything like that. I mean, some of these soldery, jointy things here are a little bit yucky. And I wanted to have a look at this sound chip at an angle. We got Ashes. No, Ashes start on the 5th, 2 days from today, Jay. We will have a bit of cricket happening. I've been getting Jay to watch some Australian cricket. See, there's quite a bit of scunge in there. You see that? I think this one would definitely like a bit of an ultrasonic clean. I hope it's not the ROM for this because I don't have a replacement. What's going on there? Has someone been putting a multimeter on this or something? There's all these little scrapey marks. And I don't think any of them are cut through, but it looks like something's gone straight down there. We will check. We'll get the beepity beep machine. Okay. Beep. 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 Where do you want to go? There? Beep. Beep. Okay, so they're scraped, but none of them actually got broken in half, so that's fine. It's fine, it's fine. I'm fine. So other than it being fairly scungy and wanting an ultrasonic clean, there's nothing here that looks to me like we got broken traces or anything like that. But I do have some concerns that it might be the ROM. So I'm going to try the ROM. If it's not the ROM, I'll then probably just ultrasonic clean it. if it's not ultrasonic cleaning, then I will recap it. These are the areas where I get most concerned with the recapping using these tantalums. I always worry about some of these little traces running parallel potentially coming in contact with the wider pads of the tantalum caps. So we'll just whip this one off just because of the wonderful things he does. Cool. Ah, dear. May I see the ROM? You may see the ROM. It is the right way around and it is in the right pins. So we'll just go to the top view here very quickly and we'll just explain this because we do need to establish this. So with the ROM, excuse me. With the ROM, it's rather ridiculous in that it's in this very, very wide, it's in a 42 pin socket, but it's a 40 pin chip. So you need to have this in the left. No, hang on. It's in the wrong ones. It's in the wrong ones. Stupid. Oh God, I thought I checked it, but I didn't. It's in the wrong friggin' pins. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve. Thank you to Steve. At least I was right. There was a problem with the ROMs. The ROM's probably stuffed now because putting it in the wrong place can wreck it. I thought I checked. I thought I checked, Steve. I told you I was having a bad day. I mean, I seriously did check, and I didn't see it. Like some kind of stupid idiot. Right. Now the ROM's in the right place. See? When I built a classic board from scratch, what I did was I put the right size socket in it, so that you can't put the thing in wrong. Well, you can put it in 2 different ways rather than 4 different ways. I remember Branko Scratch is, if the ROM is on the right, there is no space to the right. Ah, okay. Okay, I like that one. I won't remember it, but I like it. Okay, well, let's see if that fixed it. Okay, so has the ROM chip been destroyed? Which is, of course, possible. Plugged in. Front view. Well, I should mention something very quickly, Jay, that you did miss parts of this. And one of the very first things I did was try it with a known good logic board. So that enabled me to see that there was definitely a problem with the analog board. Then when I repaired the analog board and it still wasn't right, the next thing I did was then grab a known logic board and it worked. So then I knew there was something wrong with the logic board. So I have actually been doing this all along, going through the steps to make sure I was isolating where the specific problem was. So yeah, but this particular one, the one mistake that I did make, the other mistake that I did make was that when I checked the position of the ROM, I looked at it and went, yep, that's in the right position, and it wasn't. It wasn't at all. So I checked wrongly. Okay, we ready? And there we have it. One fixed Macintosh classic. Yay! I have to scroll up. How far do I have to scroll up to find the person that told me to try that one? Hang on. Here we go. Francisco Perez. Hello, thank you. In another forum, they have to replace the IC on QP1 on the analog board. Well, I must say thank you very much to Francisco Perez. There is the credit coming your way. Well, if you're watching still. If you're not watching, then the credit's just going nowhere. But right now there is credit being thrown at you. Credit. Okay, so I'm going to switch this off. We're going to power up the hard drive. We're going to see if this little sucker will actually boot. Sucker with an S. Oh, and then I can actually settle down and go, you know what? This live stream wasn't a complete and total waste of time disaster. Which is where it was heading. Right, I've just added the 1 megabyte of RAM. We're now going to switch him on and we're going to see if this hard drive works. He probably won't, but we'll try anyway. Okay. The hard drive made some noise. Hey, look at that, it works. Hard drive works. It's booting. Ah, that was suitcase. I don't know if anyone recognised the little icon there. It was suitcase. Font management tool. About the Finder. What do we got? I think we've got ourselves a little bit of System 6 here. Is it? I can't see it, read it probably, but I think it's 608. We've got 2 megs of memory there, so yippee. No, I probably shouldn't open the hard drive because it's not mine. It might contain personal sensitive information. Like one computer I got hold of once. It was one that I bought it as a second hand, and it was had quite a lot of 1990s porn on it. Okay. Wooga. Could be true type actually. Okay, well, that's that. I'm going to ultrasonic that logic board. I'm going to tidy up the analog board just a little, and then we'll be good to go. And then I'm going to order myself a bunch of these. Let's just see if these are something that is easily attainable. So I'm going to just do a little googly boogly search. See in what? 75 TB. And that is a transistor and photovoltaic output. And as far as I can see, available. DigiKey have it. Arrow.com. They got some on eBay. It'll just depend on. I do often end up buying some of these sorts of components on eBay because usually the delivery charges aren't that bad. If you buy these sorts of things on from DigiKey and stuff like that, They've usually got like a minimum order before they do delivery, and if you pay for delivery, it's exorbitantly expensive. So sometimes if I'm just after like 10 or something, I'll do that. But I probably wouldn't mind about 20 of those. So yeah. Okay, alrighty. Well, that was good, and I have to say a huge thank you again to Francisco Perez. I mean, basically, he was researching the problem while I was sitting here, and that's fantastic that he was actually saving me the trouble. And replacing that component brought him back to life. We had a few problems that we were dealing with. One problem being that the ROM was in incorrectly, and I don't know how that happened, whether the previous owner bought it that way, or whether they did it in an attempt to try and fix things up. They might have taken the ROM out and put it back in and put it in the wrong place, not knowing that, you know, that it's sort of, it can get shifted around. Oh, I've impressed Mike. That is awesome. So, still missing that cap to be blown. Yes. Forgot about that. Where'd he go? Is he still around? Have I dropped him? See if we can do it without hurting myself. But we will try and blow that cap up. Is that it there? Nope. It may not give us what we want because it's already been partially fizzled, but we'll try it. Good quality cap too. Here it is. Here it is. Here she is. So, hang on. Got to put my glasses back on again. So here's... It's a 50 volt, this one. So this could take some blowing, but we'll try. How am I going to hold this in position? I should go to top view, shouldn't I? Because I'm going to want to stand back for this one. Let's get... Okay, cranking him up to his maximum voltage. Going to switch it off. And then we're going to connect this up. And we're going to do it in the reverse polarity. So I'm going to put plus on, minus on the plus, and plus on the minus. Like this. And then I need to direct the fury. I don't want to direct it straight at me. Hang on, I'm just going to have a drinky. Had a clamp here just before. Here it is. Here's the clamp. So, going to aim it that way. There's nothing particularly valuable in that direction. Better put something in between there so that I don't accidentally short it out. And then I shall stand back. I have blown a few of these before, and generally with the electrolytic caps, they don't do that much exciting. They really just pop. They don't like blow flames or anything like that, but anyhow. Okay, we ready? Just need to make sure people are watching. I don't want anyone to miss it. Let's go to that, and then let's go to that, and let's go to that. Right. Safety glasses are recommended for the normal people trying this. Don't try this. Simple as that. I am not doing this. This is what I'm doing. I'm not actually recommending you give this a go. Don't do it, for goodness sake. Watch a YouTube video and have idiots like me do it. Don't do it yourself. All right. You ready? I haven't really got anything to protect myself. Shall I hide behind the chair? How about the chair? Hide behind the chair. No, that puts me in way too much harm's way. Hang on. Hang on. Here we go. Okay. Alrighty. You ready? Everyone ready for it? 3, 2, 1, and... I haven't got enough juice. He's fizzing. He's fizzing. Oh, he's a slow burn. He's not a popper. Oh! That smells. Right, well I think we've just about done it. The current is dropping down 0.08, 0.07. Okay. Well, sorry about that, folks. No bang, just a fizz. But he did fizz well, didn't he? And he's still fizzing a bit. Ugh. Whew. I bet you he's nice and toasty. Oh yeah, he's hot. All right, sorry about that we didn't get any big bang. The overhead didn't catch most of the smoke. I demanded to over. I'm sorry about that. It did smoke a lot. I could see it all, but yeah, the camera obviously didn't pick it up very well. Yeah, it was a bit anticlimactic. Some of the smaller ones do better. What do we got? This is a 10 volt. This will pop. Let's do this one. Oops. Right, last one, I promise, and then I'm off. Because this is just me being silly. In you go. Come on. Come on. There we go. Far out. This is more trouble than it's worth. There we go. All right. I think we're in position. So, top view camera. Right. Last one, promise. This one, oops, I just dropped my keyboard. Lights came on. Promise this is the last one. And don't get upset if it doesn't blow up. It's not my fault. I didn't invent them. Okay, ready, steady, go. Woo! Sorry, I've just driven over. There we go. I'm a little bit confined here. Okie dokie. I hope you saw that one. I'd be very disappointed if you didn't see that one, because that one really went. Okay. Let's have a look at it under the microscope. So spilled his guts. Okay. There we go. So, yes, I should have done that on at midnight on January 1st, shouldn't I? Okay, or was it midnight 31st? All right, so anyhow, just a quick little recap here. So, the Macintosh Classic sent to me, already recapped by a customer. I opened it up and was very disappointed to find out that it had already been recapped by the customer. Found a couple of issues with it. There were a few ugly looking solder joints and everything. I replaced a few caps, still not working. I then replaced QP1, whatever it was, and then that got us so that it was sort of all stable and we're getting the right amount of voltage, but we were still getting a checkerboard screen. And that was when we then discovered, with the assistance of Steve, that the ROM chip was in the wrong position, even though I had already checked for that and not noticed that it was in the wrong position. And now it all works. So everything went well, and so that was a good one. I'm quite pleased, especially seeing as it was an absolute nightmare start. So big thank you to everyone who's been watching. I have been going now for about 3 hours. That's a long one. Don't forget that if you want a multimeter, K-Wheats, KM601, links in the description. I know a few of you have bought them already. And I don't think you'll be disappointed. I certainly haven't been disappointed with mine. And what else? Yeah, that's probably pretty much it. I would say thank you for the super chats, but I didn't get any. So thank you for being here. Thank you for contributing. Oh, no, I did. I got one, didn't I? I did. I got one super chat. I think it was one. If there was more, I missed more. But I think it was Garth, I think. Thank you for that. And Bruce now owes me a multimeter. And oh dear, I'm so sorry you missed that. Never mind. You can always go back and once the video has processed, which takes a little while, you can go back and watch the pop. And yep, Garth super chatted me, he did indeed. So thank you very much for that, Garth, and thank you to everyone for watching and keeping me company while I was working on this computer that I really didn't want to work on. And I am going to be trying to increase the number of potentially videos and live streams that I do. It has been dropping off a little bit lately because it's been very, very busy at my main job. But I will be trying to keep this stuff coming, and you watching is always very helpful. So thank you to all. And Steve, you going to live stream now? I bet he's not. I'll still give him the opportunity if he wants to. So thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it, and I will hopefully see you at the next one. So bye now.